Okay, so we have our foot controller in place, looking pretty good. The last thing we need to do is create some handles that control the knee. Like you might notice is if you plant your foot on the ground, the knee should move freely. So I'm just going to go over here, create a circle out here. I'm going to hold Shift, duplicate that. I'm going to make this one here same sort of light green that we selected, and then this is the same sort of purple that we selected here. Now the next thing I need to do is align that with the knee here. Oops, I linked it. Sorry, I didn't align it. We want to find our align tool here. I'm going to align it here, and I'm doing XYZ, and we're doing pivot point here. I'm going to do the same thing here, just aligning it to this leg, and then I'm going to move both of these out here, holding Control to select both, and moving these out. Now I want to select each one of these IK handles, go over to my motion panel, and then down here where it says solver properties, let's see, assign controller, looks good. We want swivel angle manipulator, so what we'd like to do is look for our swivel angle. Here we go. Now pick target. I'm going to pick this guy. And now what you'll notice is if I move this left and right, the knee will move, which is really great. I'm going to hit Control S to save that. Same thing here. I'm going to look for my swivel target, pick this guy here, and then move this left and right. So this pretty much concludes the legs of the rig. Now for this guy right here, we want to move the hips around, but we don't. We really want to hide these joints at the end and only be looking at controllers when we're animating our rig. So let's go ahead and create another circle, and I'm going to align this circle to the root. And now what I need to do is notice that I would need to constrain this to the circle. So there's a couple ways to do this. We could do the align, or we can do a constraint, and we can do a position constraint to this. And so now when I select this, that wherever the position of this is, the root follows. And then I'm going to go to animation constraint, and I'm going to do an orientation. This has to do with the rotation. So if I click on this, oops, sorry, we want to do constraint. Select that first, constraint orientation. And I'm going to select this. And now when I, it looks like it screwed up. Now here's the thing. This, when we go to orient this, we want the orientation of this object to match this so that it doesn't flip out like that. So with this selected, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do Effect Pivot Only. And what I want to do is I want to grab my align and select this. Now I'm going to remove this position because we're already aligned, and I want to turn on the X, Y, and Z of the orientation, and I'm going to hit Apply. And OK, now what happens is if I select this guy, let's uncheck this, and I go to Animation Constraint, Orientation Constraint, and I select this, it's not going to flip out because this orientation of this object matches the orientation of that root. And so now I can do something like this. I can move this around, and that looks pretty good. Ideally, what you're going to do is the exact same position and orientation constraint going all the way up. So let's go ahead and create a circle here, right? And let's make this circle also the same color as the roughly of the root, right? So I'm going to shift drag that up, and I think there's 1, 2, 3, so let's do 2 there, and let's just link these guys. So linking, boom. Oops, we want to we want to align this, and we're going to do position like that. Same thing here. And I'm going to select all 3 of these and just change that color. And let's go ahead and do animation constraint. And I'm going to do orientation here. It shouldn't flip out because, yep, it looks like it flipped out. So we have to go through and do that exact same trick again where we are affecting pivot only of this object here. And what we're going to do is we want to make sure that when we align this here, we are aligning the orientation. So I'm going to do that. Let's do the same thing here. All right. And we are going to do the same thing here. Now, when I go in here and I animation constraint orientation to this guy, and then I want to do animation constraint position, it shouldn't screw up. So let's try this. Pretty good. Let's do the same thing to this guy. Now, something you're going to notice is if I move this around, the top part doesn't follow. And the reason for that is because we need to link all of these down to the root. So I'm going to grab my link here, and I'm just going to grab this one, link it here, grab this one, link it here. And remember, what linking does is it allows it to follow or be connected to the thing below it. So now when I move this around, they should all follow, which is great. The last thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to create one more circle, master circle here, out here, and I'm just going to name this master underscore CTRL. And what I'd like to do is link all of these other master foot controllers to it. So I'm going to link that here. Select this guy, link that. So now to notice, oops, we want to link it, not move the pivot. There we go. Now when I move these, right, my master controller, those feet move with it. Doesn't look like this guy got linked. There we go. Now I want to grab these two guys and I want to link them to the master controller. So now those are all moving, and I want to grab my root here and link that. And that's moving all that good stuff. All right. Now, I think that's pretty good for now. We'll do the arms and the head and all that good stuff in the next video.